to take a moment of silence. I want you to think about someone in your life that you've lost. Someone in your life that was so incredibly important to you that nothing on this earth can stop you from becoming your best self because of that person. Yesterday, I celebrated 5 years since I got out of prison after doing 10 years in prison. Right? Statistic that. And there are a lot of people in this room right now that have made that possible, that I would not be here without, right? So before we go dive too deep into today's speakers, we've got a quick video I want to show you guys to just kick this party off. And then we'll have some fun, we'll learn, we'll grow, we'll just become better together. And I'm grateful for that opportunity to share my story, because we all have a story. Every single one of you have a story. Every single one of you have a purpose. Every single one of you were put on this earth for a reason. And the more I stay in line with my purpose, my reason, the more I attract people that are in that realm, that are on that path. The more I'm able to connect with individuals that help me elevate as a human being, but also help me move towards my goals of making the world a better place. Right now, this event, the purpose of this event is to help you and us become better, but it's also to raise awareness to a big cause. We are raising 1 million meals for Feeding America, a nonprofit organization that gets food from food banks to shelters and to those that are in need. And I've joined teams with a really good friend of mine. And I'm not going to tell you his story, he's going to tell you his story himself, but just know that this man is an amazing human being. I love him. Zoom, come on up, bro.
This is amazing. Thank you guys for all being here today. Can you guys all give Coach Paul a big round of applause? So, when I first met Coach Paul like a couple months ago, and we ran into each other, and I was like, man, this guy's such an inspirational human being. I told him I wanted to run across America. I told him I want to, get a big mission with myself I want to change the world one day too as well. And he was like, what is it? I was like, oh yeah, I want to run across America. And when I was growing up, our family struggled a lot, and I know that like whatever I can do to help other people, I want to do that. So I found Feeding America, and they're one of the largest food banks in America. And you can donate to them their projects, help donate meals to those who are in needs on your end. And I told Coach Paul, I was like, hey, let me do this. I'm gonna run across America, we're gonna get the attention needed, and then we're gonna get the funds needed to help Feeding America donate meals to those who are in need. And after I met Coach Paul, told that, he was like, hey, let's do it, man. What's stopping you from starting? And for the longest time, through my whole life, I've always been afraid to voice my opinion, and always been afraid to speak up for myself. And most importantly, I was always afraid to be on camera. And Coach Paul took me, put me on a podcast for 30 minutes. I was sweating the whole time, I turned all red, I was like, I can't even speak. And after that, the fear of speaking in front of people, the fear of speaking on camera went away. And I cannot thank you enough for that. So that gives me the opportunity to spread my voice. Coach Paul is. Today, I just want to give him a highlight, and yes, we're running across America. It's going to be March 1st. We're going to be running from LA to New York. It's an open run.
Let's go!
So, you guys know, drop it on the run. We got a big RV coming out, a big tour bus. We're also on a prep run right now. We are running every Sunday to prep for the run. And if you guys want to come, the campaign is Find Your Voice, but also I want to use fitness as a platform, because fitness helped me go through all my hardship, go through all my heartbreaks, and I use fitness as a tool to help me recover and bounce back, and I want to give that tool to other people. Go to our event, it's very friendly, because a lot of people, when you want to get into fitness, it's very intimidating to go to the gym, right? You're like, oh wow, everyone's super fit, but we're here to create that friendly environment to get you one step further to where you need to go. And other than that, I just want to say, have fun at this event. This amazing community worked his butt off to put this together for you guys. It's going to be the first of many, and he's going to run across California with me. So, most coaches, we won't go that distance with you. Well, we have Coach Paul. We'll go that distance with you. We're going to change the world together. Thank you all for being here. Let's have an amazing show.
Rule 2 is to never forget rule number 1. All right. So, like I said, I'm a firm believer that when you're on the path in life you're supposed to be on, you attract or connect with the people that are supposed to be there. I don't believe in coincidence. I met every single person in this room for a reason. Every single one of you have played a pivotal role in my life, my growth, and my opportunity to become better. Whether I've known you for years or I just met you last week, right? There's a purpose and a reason behind our connections. So when I got out of prison, I had this idea that I needed a degree to be successful, right? Because I'm a high school dropout, long-standing criminal history, not much work history. Like no one would hire me. Look at me, I'm covered in tattoos, I'm muscular, like I look like a mean person, which I'm really not. I'm soft as hell. I got a freaking bunny rabbit at home. But I got obsessed with this idea that I needed to go back to school and finish this degree to be successful. So I was taking a chemistry class. Has anyone ever taken chemistry before? That just sucks, right? And we had a chemistry teacher. He was like so boring, right? And so I got a lab partner while I was there, and my lab partner made chemistry interesting. She made it easier to pay attention and just get the work done, and she actually showed up and did the work, even though neither one of us understood what the hell was going on. And then the pandemic hit. The world shut down in the middle of a chemistry class. We had to do chemistry online. That was even worse. But together as a team, we were able to pass that class. And now she's come into the fitness industry, and we've recently brought her on as one of our coaches at Better You Fitness. And since showing up, she's continued to show up for our clients 100%. All of our clients love her incredibly. We love her incredibly. And so we're gonna bring up our next speaker. We got Coach Leah. Come on up, Leah.
All right. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you guys all here. Everyone, I just want a huge thank you to everyone who's put this on together, making it possible. Just getting some amazing human beings together to hopefully inspire you all. And when Paul told me I had to go up on stage and talk in front of a whole bunch of people, I about shit myself. I was like, oh my goodness. And I just knew what these amazing people behind me that, again, it's like they put me through challenges, but it's like, it makes me become better, right? And that's like our whole philosophy at A Better You Fitness, like become a better you, get better every day. And I've truly embraced that. So I realized, although it is hard for me to talk in front of a whole bunch of people, hopefully my story can inspire others, like possibly going through the same thing, or anytime you go through those moments of pain, like how to come out of it. So my story does start off on a little bit of a sad note. Right before turning 18, I lost my mother. It was super unexpected. My whole world basically came crashing down, and I went through a moment where I felt numb, like everything around me was just spinning, and I was just going through those motions. And there was like 2 years where I literally don't remember a lot, and that's a really, really scary thing. And the one thing that got me through it was when I started moving my body. I started lifting weights in the gym, and even if it was just for that instance that I was in the gym, like I became me again. I was like, oh my gosh, I found that little glimmer of hope. And growing up, my mom actually always used to preach, go move your body, it'll help your mood. And I was young, and I was like, I don't want to go for a walk right now, Mother. Like, are you serious? And she'd always have us go on walks like after dinner time. And it's like I looked at my mood before that versus after, and she was right. And now here I was, kind of like living that testament of her, and it was like, oh my gosh, mothers really do know best, right? And so, I had always loved fitness, and at the time I was in the dental field. I was dental assisting, going through hygiene school, and the whole time I was doing that, like I was working in a dental office. I worked actually for my dad for a little bit, and then I worked for a pediatric dentist, just really trying to find my way. And I took a step back, and I was like, am I really happy doing this? And again, I had been working in that dental field. Like I had been going to school, going through these crazy science classes, and I was like, I've worked so hard for this, and I really, like, I really had to just kind of go through that and be like, you know what, this isn't what I want to do. So I took a huge step back, completely changed my course and path. It's like, within my heart, I knew that I always wanted to help people. That was always down to the soul of it, and I realized the power of fitness. It literally saved my life. It got me through the hardest time imaginable. And, I took a look and I was like, if fitness could do this for me, imagine what it can do for others, going through those times, going through those, struggles that life comes to us. And so I decided to get into the fitness world. I talked to a few people. I talked to actually Coach Paul. I talked to one of my old trainers that I used to train at, and I ended up getting my certification. And within my certification, I was like thankful for all of my health and science background. It kind of put everything together. And that's the crazy thing with like trusting yourself. This stuff starts to align for you. And so I ended up getting my certification, and I remember my first client ever. I believe he was like 83 years old, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this guy, And so his name was Richard, and I looked him in the eye and I was like, what are you looking to get out of this? And he actually took my hand and he's like, I'm scared to fall. Like, I don't know what I would do if I were to fall. And, that touched my heart. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I want to help this man. So sweet. And so what I did is I reenacted a fall, right? And I was like, okay, like, there's thousands of ways to fall. And I assessed him and I was like, okay, like, he has a lot of upper body strength, but his lower body could, use some strength building. So within that, we trained for a while, and he was just, oh my gosh, I still remember him. And by the end of it, he was like dancing and singing, and by the end of our time together, he's like, Leah, like, I'm not afraid to fall anymore. And that's when I knew. I was like, wow, like, this is what I want to be doing. I'm literally like changing that person's life, but I'm also like getting so much out of it too. And so that's when I, realized just the power of fitness and the power of moving your body. And, it also helped me through my depression. It's like I went through a series of depression after losing my mother. And, I feel like oftentimes you get into fitness for aesthetics, right? To look better. But it's more than that. It's about feeling better. It's about literally elevating your mood. It's about challenging yourself, showing up for yourself every day. And then you begin to trust yourself, So I think that's a big reason why I was able to trust myself and make this change, is because it's like, I put myself through challenges every day at the gym, testing myself mentally, testing myself physically. And so that's why I'm doing what I do today. And I just hope to inspire and uplift others. And again, guys, thank you so much for all being here. You're all amazing. Thank you.
All right, so real quick, I just want to talk about something I know you guys saw out there in the lobby. We recently launched our own supplement brand, right? And so what I personally did, as well as my team members, is we tested these supplements out, went through a third-party company. We ordered a bunch of different items and we tested them out on ourselves, because before I suggest something to you, I want to know that I've ingested it and not died from it, right? And then I had my beautiful girlfriend test some of it out as well, because I needed a third party that's not like biased on the business to tell me if it was shit or not, And so we do have some supplements out there, specifically geared towards busy individual and parents, right? We've got our pre-workout, which doesn't leave you feeling jittery or weird, right? We've got the amino acids, which have glutamine in them as well, so they're perfect for your recovery. We've got the protein powder. Justin loves the protein because it's only 1 gram of carbs, right? A game changer right there, right? There's not many protein powders out there that will give you only 1 gram of carbs. And then we have an anxiety formula that uses things like ashwagandha and different natural roots to calm your system down. And then there is also a recovery formula, and then there's an anxiety formula, right? So we got those out there. Just wanted to tell you guys about those real quick because this is like the next step in our business, the next step in our journey, right? Adding the supplements, adding the clothing brand to what we're doing is our opportunity to give back. 10% of everything we sell today is going to the Feeding America campaign, right? So basically all proceeds today are going to that campaign. We are not keeping a penny out of this event. I don't care about money, I care about making the world a better place. That being said, so as I've said multiple times, and you'll probably hear me say this 100 million times, I did a bunch of time in prison. I was a shitty human being once upon a time. And when I got out of prison, I got out and I was blessed to go to a program. Let's give a round of applause for Brett. Brett, love you, Brett. Brett gave me a home when I didn't have a home. He gave me a foundation when I didn't have a foundation, right? When I walked out of the prison gates, 10 years, 1 month in, I did not know how to function as a human being in society, right? And even from childhood, I never functioned as a successful human being in society. And so he gave me a platform. He gave me an opportunity. And Carl, we got Carl. Carl back there, big goose. I know he looks real big to me, but he's a big old player. Not many like 6'6" Samoans are like that nice, right? Trust me, I know. So anyways, on top of that, right, that foundation that was established right there, I started going to NA meetings. For those that don't know what an NA meeting is, like an AA meeting, but for drug addicts, right? A recovering drug addict. And so I started going to these NA meetings, and I met this dude whose spirit just touched my soul, right? I grew up in an environment where like you're like not trusting of other men, right? And so like I never like hugged another man. Like it was like not comfortable for me, but like hugging this man was comfortable, right? I felt okay hugging him, and I felt his spirit. His spirit was alive, and since our connection, he's moved, and we haven't hung out as much or talked as much, but we've been connected through social media, and I'm seeing his grind towards making the world a better place. I'm seeing the part he plays in helping others break impossibilities. So I'm gonna bring up my boy from Breaking Impossibilities, Justin. Let's go, brother.
Hey, let's go! Let me hear y'all.
Yeah!
Come on, let's go! Man, when I say who you love, I want to hear everybody in here say I love myself. Who do you love?
Myself.
Come on, y'all. Do y'all really love yourself or not? I mean, y'all here, right?
Yeah. I love myself.
Let's go, man. First and foremost, man, let's pay homage, man, to Coach Paul, my coach, probably many people's coach in here. But man, putting on this amazing event, brother. Thank you, man. You're rising rocket with unlimited fuel, baby. Keep on rising and keep on shining. And let's give it up to Zoom the Goon, right? From his mission for America in March 2024 to feed millions and millions of people's lives, right? I don't know if it resonates with you guys like it resonates with me, but I used to eat at the food banks as a kid. I used to walk there with my mother and feel that guilt and shame, like people were gonna talk about us, people see me from school. How many of y'all remember that big block of government-issued cheese that used to go on everything? Go ahead and raise your hand. I mean, come on now, macaroni and cheese is still my favorite meal. I'm telling you, my wife can attest to that, right? Man, that's about the only carbs I won't eat. But anyways, let's keep it going. I want to tell you guys a story. Is it cool? Can I tell you guys a story?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I want to tell you about this young boy born and raised in Oakland, California. And at the age of 13, he was introduced to homelessness, depression, anxiety, loneliness, hopelessness, quitting, and even had thoughts about killing himself. See, he had to sleep across the street at a park because his mom was always in and out of prison, and nobody wanted to deal with his shit because he was involved in that street life, right? Gangs, guns, and drugs. He wasn't in school. He failed the 7th grade 3 times and got kicked out of school in the 8th grade. See, he turned to drugs to try to numb those feelings. But see, the depression was already set in. He lost the desire to do anything that he loved to do, like playing basketball and other sports. So by the time he was about 20, he was heavily involved in the streets and addicted to drugs. In 2013, his mother passed away. That promoted him into a higher education of crime, streets, and drugs. He was in the streets, incarcerated, digging in dumpsters, stealing cars to sleep in, and his own family wouldn't even trust him. He thought everybody else was the problem, but in all actuality, the problem was him. He was the one holding himself back. He was blaming everybody else for his problems and his disadvantages, but he was the one not taking action and to change his life. By the time he was 30, he was rescued by the Pleasanton police. And I say rescued because this is when everything changed for him. How many in here is with law enforcement? Go ahead and raise your hand. I didn't think so. But I do want to tell you something. I do want to give it up for the Alameda County Sheriff's Department. I do. Let's give it up. For the horrible hospitality that they showed this young man, right? Because that's when it happened. That's when the change started to happen, and he realized this is not the life he wanted to live. This is not the road he wanted to go down. So he spent a year in custody, and he started to make goals for himself. He started to do things different. And I can tell you, as that young boy, I stand here on stage as a man today to tell you that every goal that I put in place in that cell, I have accomplished. You look like us, that's an accomplishment. But some people go in there and don't change their lives. You know what I mean? Especially somebody like me that deals with depression, anxiety, self-doubt. Shit, I'm dealing with self-doubt right now. Saying everything that I'm saying up here ain't resonating with nobody. I can't help nobody. I'm not gonna change nobody's life. But I have to say, fuck that. Fuck self-doubt. Fuck all of that. I have to do what I have to do to change the world. I have to do what I have to do to change my actions. You know, depression is a mental health disorder that consists of different feelings like sadness, hopelessness. You even lose the interest in activities that you once enjoyed. Like I did, playing basketball and other sports. I was going to the NBA until I went to the streets. The things that I do today, that's what Breaking Impossibilities is for me. I remember one time when I got out, somebody told me, and they seen I was in a program and I changed my life, and they told me, man, I wouldn't have bet $1 million on this. You were dying. And I was like, man, you should have did that. You would have been a millionaire. You know what I mean? But like I said, with mental health depression being a mental health disorder consisting of different feelings like sadness and hopelessness, losing the interest in activities that you once enjoyed, it can happen in a variety of different ways, right? Brain chemistry, genetics, life-changing events. And I'm not saying or downplay it at all. Because if you need help, seek help. It's very important. That's why we have professionals in those fields to help you. But there are some things that you can do that can help yourself. Like regularly exercising, eating a healthy diet, getting nice rest, mindful meditation, yoga even helps with anxiety. I haven't tried it yet, but it does look interesting. Maybe if you put that in my workout plan, I might do some yoga moves. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. And there's nothing that I can't do in this world today. And that's exactly what Breaking Impossibilities is. There's no wall that I can't get over. There will be no door that I can't open. There will be no barrier that I can't break down. And I'm sure that there's no mountain that I can't climb. And when I think of the word impossible, I think I'm possible. Say that with me, y'all. I'm possible.
I'm possible.
That's right, because you are. You guys showed up today. And that's amazing. Before I close, I do want to share this one last thing that I wouldn't be up here. I wouldn't be where I'm at today in this life. I wouldn't be pushed to my limits of greatness. I'm not allowed to fail if it wasn't for my wife. I give it to her in there. She pushes me even when I don't want to be pushed. She shows me there's a way. She tells me to keep trying. I knew about this event maybe 2.5 months ago, and every day I hear practice, practice, practice. You're gonna be great. Continue to be great. I wake up and I walk in my purpose because I know that I never believed in myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't trust myself and I didn't love myself, but today I can say that I do. And that's for me, to you, to believe in yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself because anything is possible. You're possible. Thank you.
You guys will learn a little bit about fitness and health and like how to get fit, right? You know, it's just kind of what we're studying, right? So, one of the key components to being healthy, and it's gonna blow your mind. If you're one of my clients, you're like, no way, Coach Paul, how come you never taught me this? It's eating healthy. Like literally eating healthy is like the best way to be healthy. And you know, I think if I look around, you guys all are very busy human beings. Very busy. Many of you that work with me, I know you've got kids, you've got jobs, you're in school, you're dealing with injuries, right? Like, you don't got time to cook, eat healthy. McDonald's and Jack in the Box just seems so much easier, right? So, I want to give you guys value, and not just like value, like teach you guys stuff and educate you, inspire you, but we want to give you guys like tangible value. So, Daisy, stand up real quick. What's up, Daisy? That's Daisy right there, guys, right? So, Daisy is, she owns Bay Fresh Meal Prep, all right? And for a long time, when I was going to school and working on my certification, and I was training, and I was working in Orange Theory, coaching 5 a.m. classes and 6 p.m. classes, like they were just drilling me at Orange Theory, and building a business and trying to have a relationship. Like, I found myself stopping at fast food restaurants. So much easier. This Taco Bell right here in Castro Valley was killing me, right? And and so like I got committed. Yes, okay, that's your spot too. I don't know, shit. And so I had to dial in my nutrition, and I knew that was a necessity because I'm a firm believer that I can't tell you to eat healthy and be healthy if I'm not doing that myself, right? I'm a firm believer that in order to teach or tell or ask others to do certain things, just like I'm trying to make the world a better place. I'm not trying to make the world a better place, but I have to do my part. I can't be like, oh, the world's so fucked up, but I'm not doing anything to make it better, right? Therefore, it's imperative that I practice what I preach, right? So I started buying my meals from Daisy, and her meals are bomb. She'll work with your schedule. She's like, all right, just come by and pick them up here, or I'll meet you here, or everything. And so knowing what we were gonna put on this event, I talked to Daisy, and she's like, hey, everyone that comes to the event, I'll offer them a discount. What was the discount? How much is it? 15% off your first order with her. She's in Hayward, right? So if you guys are too fucking busy to cook your own food, talk to Daisy before you leave today, get her information, or you can send me a message later on if you don't get a chance to talk to her, like Coach Paul, shoot me Daisy's info, and she'll hook you guys up with a 15% discount on your first order so that you can get your health on track. Right? And if you're one of my clients, check this out, if you're one of my clients working with me, I will actually work with Daisy and put her meals into your meal plan so that you can have it on track with your specific macros and know exactly what you should be eating and where you can go get it from Daisy. I got you, take care of you, right? Now, speaking of nutrition, right? Nutrition is super important, okay? And talking about like, being on the right path in life. You guys are gonna do some burpees too, watch. You guys are gonna do some, I'll fucking make everyone do burpees. Yeah, you're good, that's some burpees. We can do burpees with no shoes on. Come on, we did it in prison. So, check it out. Here's the deal. Once again, like I said, the more we're on the path in life we're supposed to be on, the more we connect with people, all right? So, pandemic shut down, whole world shut down, Orange Theory shut down, oh my God, I don't have a job no more. I've never been one to sit idle and do nothing. I said, okay, world shut down, I don't have a job, I'm gonna create a job. I started my own business. I established an LLC in the middle of the pandemic, and I've always been a firm believer in investing in yourself. And I had this guy that constantly tried to sell me his coaching program, and he had a similar story. He had been to prison as well. He had changed his life, and so I joined his coaching program, and in joining his coaching program, I was able to connect with a lot of different individuals. And our next speaker, I had met her through a different person. We started following each other on social media, but I never actually got to connect with her until we were in this coaching program together. And in this coaching program together, we got to know each other. And I got to see her spirit, I got to see her purpose, and I got to see the fact that she's not. Here's a problem with the fitness industry is a lot of people out there don't actually care about their client base. They don't actually care enough to harass their clients and help their clients and say, I know you're struggling right now. What can I do to help you right now? How do I go out of my way to help you? And our next speakers, because there's two of them. I just met one today, but the other one I've been known for a while. They go out of their way to serve and help their clients. They specialize in nutrition and lifestyle. And let's bring up Coach Lau and Coach Carmen from Fuel.
Good morning.
Morning.
First, can we get a round of applause for everyone that has already spoken, that has shared their story? I forgot, but I want to bring the microphone. Some of you, probably most of you, have had similar upbringings, right? That's how you connected with Paul, Justin, Leah, Zoom, all of them. That's what resonates with you. But even if you're in this room and you have not had that same type of upbringing, maybe it was a different challenge, maybe it was a different internal battle that you had, every single person here has faced adversity, right?
Who here has spent years struggling with comparison?
Woo! Hello.
Yeah. If your arm's not up, you're probably lying. Who here has spent years dieting to try to be the smallest version of themselves? Yeah.
Who here has spent years feeling like their weight, their size, and their smallness determined their worth?
I'm Lau,
And I'm Carmen.
and together
We are Fuel,
flexible,
unrestricted
empowered.
lifestyle.
I made it up myself.
Both Lau and I spent years stuck in the toxic mindset of associating our self-worth to the size of our bodies. Further, we watched friends, family, and peers go through this same struggle of trying to shrink themselves to the unrealistic body standards set within society. The goal was always to be as lean as possible, but still have a super skinny waist and somehow maintain large boobs with wide hips and a large ass. While body trends have shifted over time, the fact remains that body types are being treated as a trend, and if you don't fit into that trend, you're automatically made to feel as though you are lesser than. While we often think of women when it comes to these trends, they affect men as well. I know for me, growing up, popular trends for men often included having washboard abs, whereas when you look at it now, it's better to be big and buff. Both Lau and I started chasing these trends and this validation from a very young age and continued throughout our early adulthood. We got caught in a cycle of chasing quick results without addressing long-term habits. This vicious cycle took a toll on us both mentally and physically. And it wasn't until we gave up those toxic and restrictive diets and instead focused on developing lifelong nutritional habits that we were actually able to see our desired results that were sustainable in the long run. At Fuel, our mission is ditching restrictive dieting in order to build a strong foundation of lifestyle and nutrition habits to meet any weight loss, fat loss, or body composition goals.
On that note, has anybody in this room ever done the grapefruit and hard-boiled egg diet? No? Just me? Okay. Leah, you've never heard of that? Oh, it was circa 2000, Jennifer Aniston, thank you. Something that we have struggled with, and something that a lot of our clients struggle with as well, is that all or nothing mindset. I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but you probably will when I keep sharing. That Monday through Thursday, you're super good, you're really clean, you eat so healthy, and then Thursday night rolls around and the rest of this weekend goes by in a blur because you've just eaten everything under the sun. Or you're unable to hit one meal prep or one workout, and then everything keeps sky falling and rolling, and then 6 months later you look around and you're like, holy shit, I haven't even gone to the gym in like 6 months. That all or nothing mindset is really what's keeping you and us and all of our clients in a cycle of not being able to change, right? And similar to like what Justin shared, it really is a mindset of looking at yourself and choosing to lead from a place of love. So we get it, we've been there, we've done it all, we've done the fads, we've done the restriction, we've done the self-loathing, and what really shifted in our journey that has helped us on our own and helped us with our clients is building a strong foundation. So today we're going to share with you a few of the ways that we've built strong foundations. We've built that house so strong so that when life gets chaotic, like it gets, it doesn't blow you off course. So that when shit hits the fan, you're always able to come back to your home plate, your North Star. First is to look at food as nourishment. And this is something that I really struggled with for a long time. I didn't think that I was worthy of eating. So I wouldn't eat. And I wouldn't eat, and then I wouldn't be able to control myself. But when I shifted my thought process to saying I deserve to take care of myself, I deserve to eat enough food consistently, I started making better choices when it came to what I was putting in my body. And that carried over into building better eating habits, into learning how my body optimally operated and performed so that I could begin eating intuitively.
For me, a huge part of this was making sure that I included carbs in my meals throughout the entire day, rather than trying to severely restrict and altogether avoid carbs, just to find myself binging in the evenings or at night because I was starving and unsatisfied from the meals throughout the day.
The second, and this is gonna be a big one, is to focus on what you can control. A lot of us have years of experience, right? Altogether, we probably have over 100 years of collective experience, and we know that life happens. We cannot control what we cannot control, but we can control what we can. And when you start to focus on one meal at a time, one day at a time, one workout at a time, over months and periods, they compound and they lead up to big results.
I used to physically overwork myself trying to get as much cardio in as possible, leaving me mentally and physically exhausted. And then I would beat myself up over it if I missed a single session. Now I prioritize strength training, and even when I'm unable to get in a planned workout, instead of beating myself up over it, I make sure to find ways to still move my body, whether that's a nice walk outside or a quick yoga flow. And then I'm able to get back to my regularly planned workouts the next day rather than sitting there and making myself feel guilty over it for weeks to come.
Lastly, we're big believers in approaching your health journey from a place of love. Gabby Bernstein always says that the absence of love is fear, guilt, shame, and self-loathing. Who here has had moments in their life where that has been the underlying sentiment driving their decisions? Yeah. So when life gets in the way, when shit hits the fan, when things don't go as planned, it's a matter of coming back to love. When you come back to love for yourself, when you come back to love for your life, your partner, your families, it leads you to make decisions aligned with that. Like adding vegetables, going for a walk, and all of that good stuff that contributes to different ripple effects in your overall life.
At the end of the day, it's about finding small ways to consistently show up for yourself that will create those big results that everyone is looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you. So first off, I just want to start off by, I really extended my eternal gratitude and appreciation to every single one of you for showing up to our first of many live events. This is not the only one. We're going to do so many of these. Eventually, we're going to be traveling the country, the continent. I want to be in other countries, talking on stages, making a difference in the world. That is a goal I have established for myself, and nothing will stop me from doing that. I want to thank and extend my gratitude to every person that has walked the stage before me. I appreciate every single one of you. For those that helped make this possible, right? I would not be standing on the stage without the amazing circle of human beings I have within my life, right? But today, this is not just about an event. This is about stories of self-realization, transformation, and growth. This is about overcoming obstacles and challenges and using those challenges to grow and to become someone or something different. Today I want to talk to you guys about identity. Now, when I talk about identity, what comes to mind? What do you think about in identity? Maybe you think about, your hair color, what school you went to, your profession, your name. Those usual thoughts about identity. I'm not talking about your name, your date of birth, your hair color, not that superficial identity that you find on your ID card. I'm talking about your authentic identity. Who you truly are, your beliefs, your values, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. Because our identity is what drives us in life. Drives us towards success, drives us towards failure. We get to choose the identity we take on, and we also get to choose how we take that identity on and what we allow it to do within our lives. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story about my identity. See, as I said earlier, and it was on the video, my identity stems from hardship and resilience. My identity started in the ashes of a broken home destroyed by substance abuse and anger. And so by 15 years old, I was addicted to drugs. And by 15-year-old, I was homeless. And I was going in and out of juvenile detention facilities, boys' homes, and mental hospitals. And so by 23 years old, I was looking at a 27-year prison sentence with my identity seemingly sealed by one single word: guilty. And when I heard that verdict, cold sweat on my palms, the lump in my throat, the ringing in my ears, I can remember it like it was yesterday. Because I wanted to crumble under the weight of it all. But I couldn't. I couldn't accept the fear. I had to turn the sadness into anger because you can't show weakness behind the walls. You can't show weakness behind bars. But my life as I knew it was over. Did you guys know that over 60% of individuals that get out of prison in California will reoffend within 3 years? This was now my second time going to prison at 23 years old, and I'd only been out for 9 months. I only made it 9 months from the first time I went to prison. And so I was actually blessed with 10 years. And I call that a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise. It was an opportunity for change, an opportunity for transformation. And I made myself a promise that I would change the person I was, and when I got out, I would never return back to a prison cell. And so, like I said before, I got obsessed with fitness. Utterly obsessed, like crazy obsessed. I read every book, magazines. I'd be in my cell late at night reading books, taking notes, writing workout plans, trying to figure out how I could turn Arnold Schwarzenegger's chest workout into something I could do with push-ups and burpees. I enrolled in college correspondence courses and started working to educate myself and get a degree because I felt that was the only thing that would help me be successful when I got out. But I was still falling short. I was still holding on to those remnants of my old self. Drugs, alcohol, anger, criminal activities remained a part of my life. And because of that, I was unable to change my identity. Because I held on to those things that kept me trapped in a vicious cycle for a very long time. And so 5 years into that 10-year sentence, I had to deal with the heartbreaking loss of my mom to cancer. And my mom was my backbone. Out of everyone, she's the only one that supported me, the only one that came and visited me, the only one that consistently wrote me and took care of me and really gave a flying fuck about me. She loved me unconditionally. And so when I lost her, I knew at that moment that this halfway transformation I was attempting to make would not work. But because of the pain I was dealing with by losing my mom, I was unable to change. And it kept me in a dark hole for a very long time. And every single day I woke up wanting to die. And I consistently put myself in situations while incarcerated that could have led me to be killed or to cause the killing. And so 4 years later, it took me 4 years after my mom passed away. 4 years later, I decided to make a change. 9 years into that 10-year prison sentence, I said enough was enough. And I became willing to make some changes. See, I became willing to change my identity. I became willing to change the person I thought I was to someone I needed to be. Because identity is made up by three things. Who you are now, who you want to become, and who you must become in order to make that vision a reality. Because you can't come from where you are now to where you want to be without becoming someone different in between that makes it possible. So let's break that down a little bit. Because changing that identity to me is broken down in multiple facets. So let's talk about fitness first. Right? Because we all love fitness, right? I sure do. So for me, I discovered that being physically fit was not just a necessity for survival in prison, but it was also necessary for my mental health. Being able to work out and move my body intentionally helped me build physical and mental strength and resilience, cultivate a positive outlook on life, discipline, and because of that, I was able to consciously make some changes in my life. I attribute everything in my life that I am successful at to my ability and willingness to intentionally move my body. Let's talk about our families. When I got out of prison, since getting out of prison, I've been able to rekindle broken relationships with my younger brother and my father. I was a horrible older brother to my younger brother. Horrible. I did not deserve to have him in my life, but because of the change in my identity, the thought process, the behaviors, and the actions I had adopted, I was able to bring him back in my life, and we now have an amazing relationship. And in the reverse, my dad was a fucking horrible dad, and he did not deserve my love for a long time. But because of the shift in my identity, I've been able to rebuild that relationship with him. Not only that, but I've been able to build new relationships with long-lost family members. My uncle owns a karate school right around the corner, and I train there, and my family trains there, and my friends train there, right? And I call him Mr. Kane. I don't call him Uncle Terry. I don't call my cousin. I call them by they're my instructors, they're my senseis, whatever you want to call it. And I treat them with that, and there's still that weird dynamic. I get made fun of by Allison all the time for it, but that's okay. I've been able to build that relationship with them, and I'm starting to build relationships with other family members as well. But most importantly, since getting out of prison, I found love, right? And I got two beautiful, amazing, smart, intelligent stepsons. I have a family of my own. You know, and shit, I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. I had a family of my own, and being a family man is a role that I cherish greatly. Now let's talk about like our friendships and our communities and our hobbies, you know, because that's an important aspect that our identities play a role in. All right, so our identities, how we identify ourselves and how we play a role in the lives of those around us is imperative as well. If I had not shifted my identity to someone that was worthy of success, to someone that was worthy of love, to someone that was worthy of respect, I would not be surrounded by the amazing human beings I have in my life. I'm literally surrounded by some of the best people on this fucking earth. From the people that walked this stage before me, to my clients out here, to my really small, tight circle of friends. I got the best people on this earth around me. And it's only because I had changed my identity. Now let's talk about finances and careers, right? Realistically, statistically, I should be working a dead-end job, not making very much money, barely holding on. But instead, I have two successful businesses. And it's because I changed my identity and my habits to be someone that focuses on hard work, strategic thinking. And one of the biggest tactics I acquired and adopted very early in my career is the belief that I must invest in myself. I must invest in myself. I've invested in coaches, mentors, educational courses. I've spent more money than I've made currently on becoming better. And that's all because I developed that identity that believed it was possible, that believed I'm possible. You know, the average life expectancy of a gang member is 20 to 30 years old. Yes, I'm an ex-gang member, right? I'm 38 years old today. Statistically, I should not be alive. I heard that, you know, burpees. Statistically, I should not be alive, right? But because of the identity shift, because I changed my identity to become someone that deserved better, I changed my identity to become someone that wanted better, I changed my identity to become someone that was worth it. I stand here alive and free and grateful. You know, yesterday marked 5 years since I got out of prison, and it's only because I changed my identity. I chose to change that identity. I chose to be worth love. I chose to be worth success. And just like every single one of you guys have that opportunity to make that choice. You can choose to be healthy. You can choose to be loved. You can choose to be rich. It's possible. It's truly possible if that's what you truly want and you choose to become the person that can make that happen. I got one last story I want to end with. So like I said, I grew up in a broken home where my dad physically and emotionally beat me. I remember being slapped around as a kid, choked as a kid, thrown around like a rag doll. And so I believed that was the person I was for a very long time. I believed I could never be a family man, a father figure, a role model. But because of the identity I've chosen now, one of love, of nurture, of understanding, I was able to make that shift and overcome those mindset blocks and self-limiting beliefs. Now let me just fall back and let you know one thing. I'm far from perfect. I make constant mistakes. I fuck up daily. But the identity I've acquired today can sit back and say, Dan Paul, what the fuck are you doing there? Fix that. You should not have talked to that person that way. You should not have judged that person that way. You should not have gotten mad for that person cutting you off in traffic. They needed to get there faster than you. Wherever they're going is more important than where I'm going. Cool. I'm early to everything. I don't need a speed. It's cool. Whatever. I'm a human being, right? We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. But the opportunity to make a mistake, to mess up, to flash on a friend if I have to, you know, I've gone on Juan's line a few times and had to come back and like, bro, I apologize. I was frustrated. The opportunities that we have to ask for forgiveness and make those things right. That is the identities we must attain. And so even through all our trials and tribulations and mistakes that I make on a daily basis, I wake up every single day with a goal to become better. And so I remember one night, recently, about a month and a half ago, I was getting picked on by our 6-year-old. Yes, a hardcore ex-convict like myself gets beat up on by a 6-year-old, right? And so he was like kind of picking on me. We were kind of going back and forth. And I was like, man, if you don't stop picking on me, I'm gonna leave. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. I was like, I'm gonna leave and you're gonna be sad because you like me. He's like, I don't like you. I said, you do like me. He said, I don't like you, I love you. And then he caught himself, right? Because he never told me that before. And this wasn't one of those things like his mom told him to tell him he loves me, or like, good night, I love you, he said, I love you too. Like, doesn't even do that now, right? This was an accidental, authentic, I love you. And at that moment right there, I saw the true transformation, right? At that moment, I realized that even though as a child, I was thrown away by society, even though as an adult, I was locked away in a cage like a wild animal, I finally adopted the identity of someone that is worthy of a child's love. And so I'm here to tell you right now, the way to be successful in any of your area of your life is to change your identity. Become a person that can succeed in all your goals. Take a look at your goals, set those goals, write them down. I see you guys taking notes out there. I'd love to see that. Write those goals down and then ask yourself, who do I have to become to make those goals possible? Right? Don't worry about getting to the goal. Worry about getting and becoming the person that can make that goal possible. I was talking with a friend the other day, And I was like, I have a goal of being on stages and speaking to thousands of people and sending this ripple effect, because I will impact hundreds of thousands of lives and take my story to make this world a better place. And how do I do that? Well, that's the goal. Who do I have to become? I have to become a person that can get on stage and talk in front of people. All right, cool. We'll start right with the Chabot Theater. Half of you guys are my clients or my friends. And you know what? You guys are all amazing human beings. I'm grateful to be speaking in front of you guys. And then the next one, we're gonna have double this. And the next one, we're gonna fill this whole room. And the next one, we're gonna go to Bishop Ranch over in San Ramon and take that spot over next. Because we, as human beings, can accomplish anything we want if we become the person that can make that happen. Believe in yourself, because I believe in you. You can do it, because I did it. It's possible. Every person that came on the stage before me has done it. Every person in this room, if you think about something you overcame 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, you've overcome things that are harder than what you're going through right now. Right now, we sit here and we think what we're going through right now is hard. But then think about what you went through 10 years ago. A loss of someone you cared about. A loss of a job, an injury. Whatever that might have been, a breakup. Whatever that might have been, you can sit there and say, damn, that shit was the hardest thing I ever went through 5 years ago. And today I'm going through something that's hard as well, but that shit is still harder. And I overcame that. I'm still standing here today and I can overcome anything else. I want every single one of you to know that I personally love you all. And for a long time, I didn't even love myself. And today I love myself. I love you. And thanks for coming out. Woo!